the invisible forces shaping your life right now, and how to regain full control. Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that most of the decisions you thought were yours were actually being made by forces you couldn't see. Your fears, your environment, your conditioning, your habits, the opinions of strangers, the stories you tell yourself. What if I told you that right now? Invisible forces are shaping your future every second of every day. And the most dangerous thing about them is that most people never realize they exist. Today, we're going to uncover these hidden influences and, more importantly, learn how to regain control of our lives. Because the moment you see the invisible, you become powerful. The moment you become aware, you stop being a victim and start becoming a creator. The invisible prison of conditioning a baby enters the world without limitations. A child doesn't know what is impossible, but slowly, society begins to write its script upon the mind. Parents pass down beliefs, schools pass down assumptions, culture passes down expectations. Soon, the child becomes an adult carrying thousands of ideas that were never consciously chosen. The philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau once observed that man is born free, but everywhere is in chains. Most of those chains are invisible. Psychologists call this conditioning. Spiritually, some traditions call it spiritual sleep. Metaphysically, it is the hypnotic influence of collective thought. You begin to see the world not as it is, but as you have been programmed to see it. And until you question the program runs your life. The force of your environment. Look around you. The people you spend time with, the conversations you hear, the content you consume, the atmosphere you live in. These things are not neutral. They are shaping you. Ancient wisdom taught that energy is contagious. Modern psychology confirms something similar. Human beings unconsciously absorb attitudes, emotions, and behaviors from those around them. A negative environment slowly weakens ambition. A fearful environment strengthens doubt. A distracted environment destroys focus. Many people are trying to change their lives while remaining immersed in the very atmosphere that created their problems. It is like trying to stay dry while standing in the rain. Your environment is either feeding your future or feeding your limitations. Choose carefully. The hidden power of repetition. One thought means little. One action means little. But repeated thoughts and repeated actions become destiny. Neuroscience tells us that the brain strengthens whatever pathways are used most often. The mind becomes what it repeatedly practices. This is why a person who constantly rehearses failure begins to expect failure, and a person who continually rehearses possibility begins to see opportunities everywhere. Spiritually speaking, where attention goes, energy flows. Your repeated focus becomes your reality. Many people are not trapped by circumstances. They are trapped by mental habits, the same fears, the same excuses, the same stories, repeated day after day until they feel like truth. But repetition works both ways. What imprisoned you can also liberate you. The force of unseen fear is one of the most powerful invisible forces on earth. Fear has stopped more dreams than lack of talent. Fear has buried more potential than lack of opportunity. Most fears do not announce themselves openly. They disguise themselves. Fear becomes procrastination. Fear becomes perfectionism. Fear becomes endless preparation. Fear becomes waiting for the perfect moment. The Stoic philosophers taught that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. And they were right. Many people are fighting imaginary battles against futures that never arrive. They are prisoners of possibilities that exist only in their minds. The tragedy is not failure. The tragedy is allowing fear to shape a life that was meant to be guided by purpose. The spiritual law of attention. Every spiritual tradition teaches some version of this principle. What you focus on expands. Whether it is called faith, consciousness, awareness, or intention, the message remains the same. Attention is creative. If your mind constantly dwells on problems, your world begins to appear filled with problems. If your attention becomes anchored in growth, learning, and opportunity, new possibilities emerge. This is not magic. It is the natural consequence of perception. The mind notices what it has been trained to notice. A person searching for evidence of defeat finds defeat. A person searching for opportunity finds opportunity. The invisible force here is attention itself, and whoever controls your attention controls your life. The ancient battle for your mind. There is a reason every major philosophy and spiritual tradition emphasizes self-mastery, because the greatest battle is not external, it is internal. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a man's life is what his thoughts make it. The Buddha taught that the mind is everything. The scriptures declare that as a person thinks, so is that person. Across centuries and cultures, the message remains astonishingly consistent. Master the mind, master the life. Lose control of the mind, lose control of the life. The battlefield has always been consciousness. The weapons are thoughts. The victory is awareness. How to regain full control. So how do you break free from these invisible forces? First, become aware. You cannot change what you refuse to see. Observe your thoughts, observe your habits, observe your reactions. Awareness weakens unconscious control. Second, guard your environment. Spend less time with influences that drain your energy. Spend more time around ideas, people, and experiences that elevate your vision. Third, take ownership of your attention. Do not allow social media, fear, news cycles, or other people's opinions to dictate where your focus goes. Attention is your most valuable asset. Protect it. Fourth, practice deliberate repetition. Repeat empowering thoughts. Repeat productive actions. Repeat disciplined behaviors. The same force that built your limitations can build your freedom. Finally, reconnect with purpose. Purpose gives direction to energy. Without purpose, attention becomes scattered. With purpose, life gains momentum. A clear purpose acts like a compass in a storm. It keeps you moving even when circumstances become difficult. Conclusion. The greatest forces shaping your life are often invisible. Beliefs, attention, fear, environment, habits, conditioning. Most people spend their entire lives fighting visible problems while remaining unaware of the invisible causes behind them. But now you know. And knowledge creates responsibility. You cannot always control what happens around you, but you can control what happens within you. You can choose your focus. You can choose your response. You can choose your environment. You can choose your beliefs. And when you consciously direct these invisible forces, something remarkable begins to happen. You stop drifting. You stop reacting. You stop living by accident, and you start becoming the architect of your own destiny. Because the moment you gain control of the invisible world within, the visible world around you begins to change. The forces are already shaping your life. The question is, are they shaping it by default, or are you shaping them by design?